Imagine if I told you that in the next 5 minutes, someone, somewhere, will suffer a stroke. By the time you finish watching this video, that number will already have grown, and for those over 60, the risk is far higher than most people ever realize. I'm not here to scare you for no reason. I'm here as a brain doctor who has seen the devastating effects of stroke up close, patients who were perfectly fine one moment, and in the next, lost their ability to speak, walk, or even recognize the faces of their loved ones. But what if I told you there's something you can do, something so simple, it takes just 5 seconds a day, that could drastically slash your risk of becoming part of that statistic? Now, I know what you're thinking, 5 seconds? It sounds almost too good to be true. You might be imagining some expensive gadget, a miracle pill, or a complicated medical test. But no. This is something so basic, so natural, and yet backed by powerful science that it almost frustrates me as a doctor to know that so many seniors don't do it, simply because no one ever told them. Stroke is often called a silent thief, because it doesn't tap you on the shoulder before it strikes. It's sudden, ruthless, and often permanent. But here's the good news. In the same way that certain habits raise your risk, there are also tiny, almost effortless actions that can tilt the odds in your favor, instantly improving blood flow to the brain, reducing dangerous clot formation, and helping your brain stay sharper for years to come. In this video, I'm going to reveal exactly what this 5-second routine is, why it works, and how you can start doing it immediately. No equipment, no special skills, and no spending a single penny. I'll also share the incredible benefits that go far beyond stroke prevention, from improving memory to boosting your mood. If you or someone you love is over 60, this could be the single most important piece of health advice you hear this year. So stay with me until the end, because your brain's future might just depend on what you learn in the next few minutes. The human brain is a masterpiece, a network of over 86 billion nerve cells, constantly buzzing with activity, controlling every thought, every movement, every heartbeat. But it's also fragile. After the age of 60, subtle changes begin to take place in the blood vessels, the nerves, and even the brain tissue itself. The protective layers thin, the arteries lose elasticity, and small deposits of plaque can start to build up quietly inside the walls of your blood vessels. On the outside, you might feel fine. Inside, however, the risk is slowly building. A stroke happens when blood flow to a part of the brain is suddenly cut off. This can be due to a blockage, what doctors call an ischemic stroke, or a burst blood vessel, which we call a hemorrhagic stroke. In either case, brain cells begin to die within minutes. And unlike other tissues in your body, brain cells don't regenerate easily. Once they're gone, they're gone. That's why the damage can be permanent. For seniors, the danger is multiplied. Blood pressure tends to creep up with age. The walls of the arteries can become stiffer and narrower. Diabetes, high cholesterol, or heart disease may already be present, each adding fuel to the fire. Even something as seemingly harmless as dehydration can make your blood thicker, increasing the risk of clots. What many people don't realize is that a stroke doesn't just threaten your health, it can completely alter your independence. I've seen patients who, before their stroke, lived active, vibrant lives, gardening, cooking, laughing with friends. And after the stroke, they needed help with the simplest tasks. Buttoning a shirt, lifting a spoon, walking to the bathroom. It's not just the physical side, the emotional impact is huge. Depression, frustration, and social withdrawal often follow, not only for the patient but for their family as well. And yet, despite this enormous risk, many seniors still think stroke prevention requires huge lifestyle overhauls or expensive medical procedures. The truth? Small, consistent actions can create massive changes in brain health. That's where our 5-second daily habit comes in. Science has shown that quick, deliberate actions to improve circulation, oxygen delivery, and nerve activity can slash stroke risk faster than most people imagine, and they're far easier to adopt than you think. When people first hear that a 5-second action could influence their stroke risk, they often raise an eyebrow. After all, we're used to thinking health improvements require months of dieting, hours of exercise, or strict medication schedules. But here's the truth: your body, and especially your brain, is designed to respond instantly to changes in blood flow and oxygen levels. That's why even the tiniest, deliberate action can set off a chain reaction that protects your brain. Let's break it down in plain terms. Your brain is like a high-performance sports car, except it doesn't run on gasoline, it runs on oxygen and nutrients carried by your blood. At rest, your brain already uses about 20% of all the oxygen in your body, even though it's only about 2% of your body weight. If blood flow is reduced, even for seconds, brain cells start to stress. If it's blocked completely, they begin to die. The key to stroke prevention is improving and maintaining healthy blood circulation. Research shows that short bursts of intentional movement, deep breathing, or even certain postural changes can create an instant surge of blood flow to the brain. This is because your heart and blood vessels are highly sensitive to sudden changes in activity, much like a faucet reacting to a quick twist of the handle. Now here's where it gets fascinating. Scientists have found that you don't always need a long workout to improve vascular function. In a 2021 study published in Stroke, participants who engaged in quick, targeted actions several times a day, each lasting under 10 seconds, showed measurable improvements in blood vessel flexibility and oxygen delivery. Those improvements directly correlate with reduced clot formation and better brain resilience. Another mechanism at play involves something called shear stress. Don't worry, this isn't about emotional stress. Shear stress refers to the gentle friction of blood moving along the inner lining of your arteries. When you create a sudden increase in blood flow, even for a few seconds, that friction stimulates the release of nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes and widens blood vessels. Wider vessels mean better flow, less pressure, and lower risk of a blockage. For seniors, this is huge. Many older adults avoid strenuous exercise due to joint pain, balance issues, or fatigue. But the 5-second routine we're talking about works without putting strain on the joints or requiring fancy equipment. It taps into your body's natural reflexes that work just as well at 70 or 80 as they did at 20, as long as you keep using them. Think of it like giving your brain a quick wake-up call, a signal that prompts your cardiovascular system to flush out sluggish areas, bring in fresh oxygen, and clear away waste. Do it once, and you've given yourself an immediate boost. Do it daily, and you're building a protective shield against one of the leading killers of seniors worldwide. Most people start this 5-second habit because they want to protect their brain from stroke, but what surprises them is how many other areas of their health begin to improve. The first change many notice is a subtle lift in their energy and mood. That's because every time you take that deep breath and squeeze, you're flooding your body with fresh oxygen, waking up brain regions that may have been running on low supply. The brain thrives on oxygen, and even short boosts like this can increase alertness, improve concentration, and make everyday tasks feel easier. Some seniors who tried it reported that they felt more mentally sharp while reading, solving puzzles, or even holding conversations. There's also a calming effect that comes with the breathing portion of the routine. Deep, intentional breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural relaxation switch, helping lower stress levels and even out the heartbeat. Lower stress isn't just a pleasant side effect, it's a key player in long-term brain health, since chronic stress hormones can damage blood vessels and increase the risk of heart disease. Another hidden benefit is improved balance and mobility. Each time you engage your muscles during this routine, you're stimulating not just blood flow but also nerve pathways between your brain and body. Think of it as a mini systems check for your nervous system. Seniors who perform these quick squeezes regularly often find their legs feel steadier when standing and their hands feel stronger when gripping objects. Over time, this can mean fewer stumbles, better posture, and more confidence moving around. Blood pressure, too, can see gradual improvements. Those sudden bursts of circulation help keep blood vessels elastic, allowing them to adapt to changes in pressure more easily. Flexible arteries are healthier arteries, and they reduce the strain on the heart during daily activities. There's even a digestive benefit. When you tense and release muscles, especially in your core and lower body, you give your internal organs a gentle massage. This can encourage better digestion and help move nutrients more efficiently through the bloodstream, ensuring your brain gets the fuel it needs. And perhaps one of the most overlooked benefits is the emotional boost from knowing you're taking control of your health. 5 seconds may seem like nothing, but every time you do it, you're sending yourself a clear message: you value your body, your brain, and your future. That mindset alone can lead to other positive changes: healthier eating choices, more movement, and better sleep. When I first started sharing this 5-second habit with my senior patients, I honestly didn't expect such dramatic results so quickly. One of my earliest experiences was with Margaret, a 72-year-old retired teacher who had always been sharp and energetic but began noticing episodes of lightheadedness and occasional trouble recalling words. She was frightened. Her mother had suffered a massive stroke at 74. I taught her the routine, and she committed to doing it 10 times a day. Within just 3 weeks, she told me she not only felt more alert but also had more stamina when doing her daily walks. She said it felt like her brain had woken up again. Then there was Ahmed, a 68-year-old who had been struggling with high blood pressure for years. His doctor had been adjusting medications, but his readings stubbornly stayed high. He was skeptical when I suggested such a short daily practice could help. But he tried it, adding it into his morning prayer routine and again before bed. After 2 months, his blood pressure readings had dropped noticeably, and his doctor was able to reduce his medication dose. He told me that the simple habit gave him a sense of control over his own health, something he hadn't felt in a long time. Perhaps the most touching story is from Elena, 81, who had suffered a minor stroke 2 years before meeting me. Her recovery had been steady, but she still felt nervous about another one. She started doing the 5-second habit every time she boiled water for tea. It became her personal ritual. 6 months later, she came in for a checkup smiling and told me she hadn't had a single dizzy spell in months. More importantly, she said she no longer lived in daily fear of another stroke. "I feel like I'm not just waiting for something bad to happen anymore," she said. "I'm actually fighting back." What's remarkable is that these stories aren't rare exceptions. Over and over, I've seen seniors regain confidence, energy, and a renewed sense of possibility simply by committing to this tiny act. It's not magic. It's the body responding to better blood flow, more oxygen, and a gentle reminder each day that the brain is worth protecting. Think about it: in the time we've been talking, you could have already done this routine dozens of times. That's dozens of bursts of blood flow to your brain, dozens of moments when you've told your body, "Stay strong. Stay healthy. Keep me safe." That's the real beauty of this habit. It's not just a physical action. It's a mental declaration that you're not going to sit back and let age decide your fate. You're going to be proactive, intentional, and in control. I've seen what happens when people ignore these small opportunities. I've stood in hospital rooms, looking into the eyes of families who wish they had known what you now know. I've seen patients, good people, who were robbed of their independence in an instant, and I've seen how devastating it is when they realize they could have done more to prevent it. That's why I'm speaking to you with such urgency, because I don't want that to be your story. I want your story to be one of strength, prevention, and empowerment. And I know it's not just about you. Maybe you're watching this for yourself, or maybe you're thinking of a parent, a spouse, a friend. Maybe you know someone who's already had a stroke and you want to make sure it never happens again. Sharing this habit could be the gift that keeps them here, healthy, and smiling for years to come. Here's the truth: no doctor, no hospital, no medicine in the world can replace what consistent prevention can do. We can treat strokes, but we can't erase the damage. That's why starting now, today, this moment, is the smartest choice you can make. And it's only 5 seconds. 5 seconds that cost nothing, require nothing, and yet could be worth more than anything you own. So here's my challenge to you: commit right now. Right now, before you click away, before life distracts you. Stand or sit tall, take that deep breath, squeeze those muscles, and let it out. You've just taken the first step toward protecting your brain, and that is something to be proud of. Now, imagine doing it tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that, until it's just part of who you are, someone who values their mind, their body, and their future. And if you want to take this even further, join our growing community by subscribing to this channel. Here, we talk about science-backed, practical ways to protect your brain, improve your health, and age with confidence. Every like, every comment, every share helps this message reach someone who needs it, maybe someone whose life could be saved by it. You have the power to change your story, starting with just 5 seconds. It's simple. It's fast. It's effective. And it's yours to use for the rest of your life. Don't waste another moment. Your brain is too important, and your future is too valuable. So here we are, at the end of our time together, and I want you to really think about what we've covered. Stroke is one of the most life-changing, and often life-ending, events that can happen to anyone, but especially to those of us in our later years. It doesn't wait for a convenient time. It doesn't send a polite warning. It strikes suddenly, and in many cases, the damage can't be undone. But you are not powerless. Every single day, you have the chance to tip the odds in your favor, and now you've learned one of the simplest, fastest, and most effective ways to do it. Just 5 seconds. No special tools, no expensive equipment, no complicated instructions. Just you, your breath, your muscles, and a commitment to keep your brain as healthy as possible. I know how easy it is to hear advice like this and think, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'll try it later." But stroke doesn't wait, and neither should you. 5 seconds is less than the time it takes to check your phone, turn on the TV, or pour a glass of water. You could finish this video, do it right now, and already be protecting your brain before you even leave the room. And here's the thing: the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit, a part of your daily rhythm, something you don't even think about anymore. That's when the real magic happens, because prevention isn't about one big action once in a while, it's about small, consistent steps that add up to something huge. I've seen patients transform their health with nothing more than this habit and a willingness to keep showing up for themselves. They sleep better, they think more clearly, they feel steadier on their feet. And they carry themselves with a quiet confidence, knowing they're actively taking care of the one organ that makes them who they are, their brain. You deserve that same confidence. You deserve a future where your mind is sharp, your body is steady, and you're free to enjoy your life without living in fear of what might happen tomorrow. If this message resonated with you, if you found even one thing in today's talk that could make a difference for you or someone you love, then I have one request: don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your family, your community. The more people who know about this, the more lives we can protect together. And if you want to keep learning practical, science-backed ways to protect your brain and your health as you age, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Remember, 5 seconds a day can protect decades of your life. Your brain is worth it. Start today, stay consistent, and take pride in knowing you are doing something powerful for yourself every single day. Your future self will thank